previous involvement, when you have to hook up with something like that, that has a problem with a failed system, it's called facilities of need. And we had situations in my past life of where we had a sewer plant that was out of capacity, but we were allowed to hook up because we had facilities of need. That was within a geographic area of the sewer system. And you can make a waiver. DEP will give you a waiver of that because somebody has a facilities of need within a sewer district pursuant to your 537. What happened here, I think somebody jumped the gun, and I don't know what happened in the meeting. I attend most of the meetings. I didn't hear anything brought up. I was here the night that Bob Yoder resigned. It was the resignation. I don't remember that being brought up. Maybe we could have missed it because of with what was going on at that time. But the issue is that the whole thing is strange because I think Schranksville has no capacity. But they did this as a facilities of need to an individual who had no need yet. He had a functioning on-site system. So he's preparing himself for the future. He still has not dug a ditch from the system out at the street to his house, unless he did that with directional boring, and you don't do that. The thing that's interesting, their manhole ends, the terminus of the manhole, for the sake of, and I didn't take a measurement, say it's 150 feet from Main Road. You go out there, you can look at the sewer manhole. It looks like somebody rotary bored out to a couple feet from that. I can only surmise that somebody went down in the manhole, punctured a hole in the wall, intercepted that pipe that was there. They went up and a rotary board. That property they rotary board on is the homeowners association for that development. They own that whole area. So he didn't get permission from the homeowners association. I don't know where the ultimate right-of-way is from the road. So they went up there, then they went parallel, went down Main Road to the front of the customer at 104. Right now, it was covered. It was open. Now they've got it covered with rock and dirt. But they have not made the connection yet from there to the house. That has not been done. I don't know whether that's going to be done in abeyance. It hasn't been hooked yet. But the whole thing is strange to me. I think Kevin stepped beyond, nobody held a gun to his head. He went ahead, and I thought he was being a nice guy for somebody that didn't really need a sewer connection at this time. He doesn't need it. He doesn't seem in any hurry to hook up to it. So that's just my overview of the whole thing. And basically, all they've done, they have not extended their sewer main. They've made an adjunct to it. They went rotary boring. As far as I'm concerned, it's a total service. Now they've got something in agreement that they're allowing. You can put probably 4 connections into that line. But I think at this point that gets stopped. You can't do anything else.
According to their engineer, you can accommodate up to 8 EDUs.
Well, I'd have to, that's a little high to me. But,
all right.
Yeah. Larry Cohen, Mine Hill Road, and by the way, I'm very familiar with where that main ends because I see it every day. These series of questions are for Carol. They use directional drilling to hit that main right there on Mine Hill Road. You're familiar with directional drilling. It's been around for decades. It's a safe process, correct?
it can be.
They were successful with the direct, sorry. They were successful. I know about this because we performed a modicum of inspection relative to the road opening permit. Again, this is not the township sewer line. So our interest was that the right-of-way be safe and be protected, and that any excavation be safe and protected and restored in a way that's acceptable over Frederick Township, where it's within the township. Right?
Okay, so
yes,
it's safe, is what you're saying, correct?
Yes, it's safe. This was done by directional boring. A similar thing was done up here on Zieglerville Road a couple of years ago with directional boring under the street and into the manhole. And that's what was done for this project as well, is my understanding.
So answer me this. Why would you approve this project of directional drilling for over 700 feet, okay, in a linear direction with, no decline, no elevation decline in the pipe, and yet you disapproved an already failing system request to do directional drilling 1/3 the distance from 3 Main Road to the manhole, the nearest manhole, which is on 29, which would have been our system.
So we're in two different projects. The first one we're talking about is the one on Main Road, 104 Main Road. Directional drilling was proposed. We required that the plans indicate how restoration would be accomplished if directional drilling was not successful. So that was likely a very significant expense to the homeowner to do that because it was over 700 feet of line. Now you're talking about something that happened a few years ago on the Main Road.
It was in 2017,
Yes, sir.
the end of 2017. I'll refresh your memory.
I'll be happy to finish answering.
And you declined to approve it, even though the engineer said it was a perfectly acceptable proposal. And that was a failing system at 3 Main Road. This system was not failing, and yet you approved it for 3 times the linear length without any elevation decline. I don't understand it.
You know, the elevation decline on a force main, that's the point, it's being pushed by a driving car. The circumstances that you're referring to on 3 Main Road, and I'm going from memory because I certainly haven't reviewed that file in recent days, there was a problem in getting under a culvert and back up again and then back into the private property to try to join to a clean out of somebody's existing sewer lateral. It was a little less clear cut than running entirely in the right of way to the existing sewer main.
They could have done a workaround, and they were willing to do it, and you turned them down. But you approved this project.
Well, we talked about some workarounds and then went in another direction. And that's about as much as I can discuss about it at this time because it's been 2 years and I just don't remember more details.
Well, with all due respect, Mr. Cohen, I kind of think the issue really here is still the approval process for a Main Road extension to, by the Schweitzer Borough Authority, and the discrepancy between how I understand approvals are granted and what actually took place. So I guess that would be where I end my public comment, and I guess I'm hoping to hear from the board a definitive answer perhaps by the next general meeting next week. I don't know what your timeline would be, but I hope to be sure. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
So we've heard from Carol and we've heard from the board, and the last person, actually, 2 of the people we haven't heard from, maybe Tom Keenan is also on this letter, and Kevin Tobias, and who will contact them. I'd like to know who wrote the letter, because like I said, I'm very familiar with Kevin Tobias' writing. He did not write this letter.
Warren Jacobs Full Road. To clarify what Ernie said about the fact that it was not a failed system, that is in contradiction to what the county health department said, even if they didn't say it in the proper order.
Well, I guess I need to respond to that. Okay. Bill Smith, 205 Burlock Road. I'll liken it to this. Your car is misfiring. You take it to a mechanic. The mechanic says, oh, you got to replace your engine. You take it to a second mechanic and he goes under the hood and says, no, a spark plug wire. Bill puts the spark plug wire on, and away you go. So the county health department came out after the applicant, if you will, the homeowner, property owner, employed, I think, 2 firms to make a determination. And the supposition, I guess, is that they did the job correctly. We do not know that. We only know that the county health department was alerted in perhaps late October, came out and did the investigation in November, so 7 months later, and they then determined that there was sewage present on the ground, therefore constituting a malfunction of the system. From an engineering point of view, perhaps Carol back me up, malfunction means at least 1 or 2 of the components are in failure or in need of repair. Okay? They then determined that to be the root grounds in which remediation, or in this case, an approval would be granted, for a connection to the public sewer system.
I may be able to help by reading this letter from the health department. violation of 104 Main Road, Lower Frederick Township, resulting in an on-site investigation at the above noted property. Our findings indicate that your on-lot sewage disposal system appears to be malfunctioning. The system is considered to be malfunctioning if untreated or partially treated sewage is being discharged onto the ground surface or into the waters of this compound. On November 27, 2018, site investigation revealed an apparent sewage discharge to the ground surface. The noted conditions represent a public health hazard and are in violation of the Montgomery County Public Health Code and the Pennsylvania Sewage Facilities Act. In an attempt to prevent the prohibited sewage discharge, OPH, which is, Office of Public Health, is requiring that the sewage system be pumped as needed. All pumping receipts shall be sent to Office of Public Health until preparatory measures have been taken to abate the public health hazard nuisance. OPH strongly suggests that you secure the services of a competent sewage consultant to provide all available options to correct a malfunctioning system. A list of consultants who render services related to on-lot sewage disposal is attached. Please note that a permit must be obtained from OPH prior to any repair, replacement, or enlargement of any part of the system as per Montgomery County Public Health Code and the PA Sewage Facilities Act. Contact me, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't actually say it failed. It says something's wrong with it. We should have it checked out. Ernie?
What's the definition of fail?
It doesn't say it failed. It says it's malfunctioning.
Yeah, it could be a host of things. You can clean it out on a routine basis,
So
do things like that.
So they're suggesting they have somebody look at it to give them more information. That's, I mean, I've originally.
But nowhere during the intervening time was our SEO that represents Lower Frederick involved, was he? The SEO for Lower Frederick doesn't sound like he was ever involved. Schweinsville took it over.
Terry, you seem to know a lot about this. How do you know?
Well, because Phil said he wasn't involved. He said it right when he was standing there. You gotta listen to when they talk. I mean, I heard him say it.
Okay.
Our CEO wasn't even involved.
Our CEO became involved after the DEP released a letter and said they had not heard from the county health department. That occurred in October of 2018, almost 7 months after the project was brought to the attention of Lower Frederick Township that past spring.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Phil McGovern, 107 Memorial Road. I think Phil did a great service bringing this to our attention, and I think it's a process that we need to improve on. So my question is this: are we going to move forward now improving the process? Are we going to start an investigation using everybody's time and money, and the township wasting money again on attorneys, engineers, and things like that to try to find out who was responsible? It sounds to me like there's an oversight. And I think we should move on from here, improve the process, and conduct the rest of the township's business. It seems kind of silly to me to try to make this into an investigation rather than just, take it from what Phil said and make the process better. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I completely agree. Can we ask our, again, I'll ask again for the second time, our manager, in consultation with the appropriate people, propose another process to ensure that we're not being added?
Yes.
Chris Christopher, 122 Burger Road. The thing I'd say in response to that is, whether on purpose or someone jumping the gun or not, someone stepped into the shoes of the supervisors for a few minutes here writing letters and making approvals. That's what it seems. Again, accidental, someone just being overzealous. I think it's worthy of looking into. It doesn't mean that we have to, impanel a congressional panel to do it, but it concerns me that happened.
I'm sorry, what is your last name?
Kristofko, Kristofco.
Kristofco?
Correct.
All right, we'll move forward with that then. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. Any more public comment? Yes, Bob.
Bob Burns, Inglewood Road. Terry, is it possible, as we talked about this, I believe it was last spring, looking into updating our codes and ordinances, especially as far as our saldo goes, with the two properties, the Hosky and Melbourne Hills coming on board shortly, before they would get final approval. If we don't upgrade and change our fees, if they need to be done, if they get final approval, they'll be grandfathered on what is there now. And I know that you said that you guys were looking into that, and apparently in January, the only thing that I believe did get changed was a few items that Dave Wallace put through, and nothing else has been looked at.
Yes, and Dave was supposed to be, has he found something or a problem, to bring it to us so we could change some things? That's about where it is.
Yeah, if I can add, Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, Bob, Mr. Wallace has been reassigned. He's working for another larger township. So now we have a new face, staffer, Robin Royer, who does have, has worked for Lower Maple on more than one occasion, substituting for Dave. So that's probably going to slow our process down. But it's important to us. We just need to find the time to do it. And we certainly need LTL's assistance. So we'll keep working.
One other question, Terry. As far as the discussion we had on Village Drive, as I said, with that petition that was handed in with 123 signatures, Marla's always saying she wants to hear from the other residents. That petition is hearing from the other residents. So I know you reached out, or the people that live in the 3 single homes came into the last meeting and they voiced their opinion about wanting to be able to park there. However, as I stated, when I gave Mr. Fedorchak that petition, there are, I would say, out of the 123, probably half of them from Cedarville and the other half from Spring Mountain. So, you know, striping is very cheap. For Guide Mark, where Tom was getting a quote from, if we're going to come in and do half of Village Drive with a double yellow line and leave the other half undone, it just doesn't seem right. And I did mention to Carol, talking to Vince from PennDOT, you know, his standard is, whether it's different from the MUTCD, is any road with 800 vehicles per day traveling on the road. And, you know, our report from the police said it's over 1,000. So for that additional cost at this time, I think it's foolish not to have that all incorporated at one time. Because if you do it half now, then we got to come back later on, do that. We're going to have another ordinance to do that half. It just doesn't seem right.
Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll check into that. We have time now before we do anything else with the line.
Thank
Okay.
Well, I agree with what Bob said earlier. The fact that we have such new development pressure coming on gives us a sense of urgency when it comes to doing any improvements to our saldo that we're going to do. And one of the things that we're hopefully going to have in the works is improving that landscape ordinance. So many issues that are involved with that. Bob had made a real good suggestion a couple of meetings ago. Wouldn't it be nice if we could avoid some of those problems that our saldo doesn't address right now, as far as planting new trees? And everybody that was at the planning commission where I gave a presentation understands what those issues are. Wouldn't it be great if we could maybe avoid them by asking a developer to give us the money instead of actually doing the installation themselves? And that way, because we're going to take dedication of the property, we're going to own it, and we can do it and make sure that it gets done correctly. And his suggestion wasn't taken into consideration, and the Arcadia development just planted over new trees. And of course, they're not to any specifications because our saldo doesn't require that. And you know, if we had been doing it ourselves, we would have had the option of maybe locating them a little better instead of only 15 feet from the power lines, where, you know, they're going to grow up into the power lines. But You know, the sooner we get, I'd like to see the supervisors approve having the planning commission rewrite that landscape portion of our saldo so we can, you know, get this stuff fixed, get these things work.
I think what we ought to do is work with the planning commission.
We have been working on it. Julia is, this is Chuck Isaac. Julia is going to be working on some, sort of a draft where we have a starting point for changes, taking into account what Warren has said and also what Julia has said. Huh?
Can you speak up?
Oh, I'm saying Julia has been asked to prepare some changes, suggested changes to our salad landscaping portion. I don't believe she's going to have it in time for this month because we have our comp plan open house thing going on the 19th of June, free food. Anyway, so I don't expect her to have anything for this month's meeting, which will be June the 20th. So many things I can have her work on. So we did sort of preempt things a little bit because the people, the little road development came in and we wanted to get that review underway because they came with a sketch plan and are obligated to do that. And we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to respond to that sketch plan. So things got jumbled up a little bit last month.
The presentation that Julia gave was, it was an overview of the kind of stuff that the county's working on.
Right.
And it's a big, broad overview of stuff that goes way beyond
That's right.
the kind of things that we're talking about, the specifics.
Right.
I think it wouldn't be too hard to just tweak what we had. I mean, I'm glad to help out, just
That's fine.
change some of the wording around and make it so the stuff is, so there's specifications and they're respectable at least.
So, I mean, can Warren reach out to Julia directly? Can you facilitate that? And maybe they can.
Well, I
on
mean,
that? Or,
she's going to be very busy up until the 19th.
well, then Warren, are you proposing coming up with a draft yourself and then?
I could do that. I could do something that we could just maybe approve. And it would be even interim while we're waiting for the long drawn out process of making a whole new saldo. I think that's what's
You
really
don't want to do it that way. There's a process that has to be approved. You don't want to do it.
We could make some really simple amendments that would make great improvements.
I understand, but maybe that's something to consider. I don't know, but there is a process in the salary of all public hearings, and all stenographers, expenses of the township to do all that. Maybe what you suggested makes sense. It's fee in lieu of and let us have some more control over it. If that's the situation the township finds itself in. Right, in terms of complaint.
Or wants to be.
Or wants to be. I just, I can only ask Julie to do so many things